Welcome back, Roy, to the International 4 Qualifiers presented by Monster. I'm now joined by Merlini as well. Suns fans Cindery together. We're continuing the NA Hub. Hashtag America.
Hashtag TI4NA.
Hashtag TI4NA. That's the hashtag you guys should be using for an interactive.
You can also use America. That's good.
TI4NA. It's easy.
The EU one is TI4 EU Hub, so no one knows where to put the hub.
Oh, we should have done NA Hub, you're saying?
Or they should have done
Why make
EU.
it longer?
Yeah.
Right, keep it short and simple.
Yeah.
Okay,
Who's got the better hashtag? Tweet at us using
Could
our
be like
hashtag and let us know whose hashtag is better. That's
Great.
some hashtag meta right there.
That's good. Don't do that.
Why not? People aren't even using the hashtag enough. Well,
yeah, okay.
What do you want? What do you want them to use the
It could
hashtag
be
for?
like Tina4,
Okay.
TINA4. It's easy to remember.
Tina4?
Tina 4. I don't like. But then if people read it and you don't do the capture, I'll just read Tina.
I like that you're not saying anything. It's like, what are these guys even talking
I'm
about?
disgusted by this conversation.
Good, let's go to another one then. All right, transition gods. You've got a good transition right now. No pressure. Go say something. Great face. That's good.
All right.
All right, Merlini, your turn. He didn't manage.
I can make faces too. Mine
I think we need to get into the game and you guys need to get a drink.
I think they already have a
Right.
drink.
Let's do that.
He really has to get out.
Into the draft.
Oh boy.
All right, so here we are.
Here we
Team
are
Liquid
with
versus
the
eHug.
professional casters.
I'm so excited to
We don't make
cast
faces.
Jiggle Billy, my favorite player, NA for sure. Oh wow, Invoker has not been banned. This is pretty
boy.
insane actually. So Wisp, Shadow Demon, Bat Rider, and Lycan. So I guess I'm not gonna call them weird, but typically you don't see them consistently banned are the EO and the Shadow Demon. But Darkseer Mirana, okay, every game.
Pretty standard.
Treant, this tournament, every game. Would be surprised if Invoker's not picked here, unless eHug doesn't have a player to play that.
We've cast 3 games today so far. Trent lost all 3, and he was first picked in all 3.
Yep.
It's like, I feel like this hero does not deserve a first pick unless you build a lineup around it, or that you have a really key player. EG can pull it off all the time because PPD is the best Trent player in the world, I think.
By
he
far.
is
I
exceptional
can't
at that
even
hero.
think of a okay, Goblak. I wouldn't even. He just started picking Treant. That's
Yeah.
all. That's all he's famous for. He's not famous for being a great Treant.
PPD's Trent is
Perfectly
amazing, but you know, you don't want to pick this hero first unless you really know how to use it, because then you just get shut down, you know. You pick the Trent, you get the Living Armor, that's great. The enemy team picks Darkseer, so they can immediately remove Living Armor with Iron Shell. You can get secondary sources for it. So if you give that away, you really need to know what you want to do with it. So we're going to see if eHug can manage that. Of course, this is a really important game for both teams. Liquid is currently tied for first place. They're 3-0, which is the same as Union Gaming. The big surprise so far, I think we can say, Union doing really, really well. eHug 2-2. If they manage to take a game off of Liquid, they are in the running for the top 2. If they don't, they're still in the running for top 4, but those top 2 places are kind of out of reach if you have 3 losses, I think.
Yeah, I would say the same. But
So
I think this game all comes down to if Jiggle Billy's gonna pick Pudge, Cinderin.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's all there is to it.
I want to see Jigglebill Pudge. I want to see him rot off the Living Armor. It's absolutely awful
That is-
synergy. The worst hero you can play with Trent at all. So let's go.
That's true.
Go for that.
Hey, they were looking for advice on Reddit. Maybe they overlooked that part. So that's hopefully the last time I'll bring that up in this game, because I do
Okay,
like
so
eHug.
Jigglebilly's nickname is No, or what? He is in my overlay at least here. He's called
it?
No.
Oh, I don't know.
I
Let's see.
like that. It's called No. I don't know why.
guess so.
Okay, but it is Jigglebilly. You can confirm.
I hope so.
Okay. So yeah, we've got Witch Doctor and Treant now, so a good sustainable push combo. This is the same synergy that we had in the last game from Sna, who still lost the game.
They
And
put up a
it's-
fight though.
And it's also a classic combination for, again, EG, which I don't think I've ever seen a qualifier or a tournament in general where it seems that so many teams are so inspired by one particular team. It seems like teams are playing EG meta right now, because in the world scene, EG's picks are kind of only picked by EG.
So
you don't see the other teams doing EG stuff. They ban it out against EG and play their own stuff, but all teams here are picking that Treant and the Witch Doctor and the Darkseer all the time.
Question is Bane
interesting.
going to get through here? I mean, the Shadow Demon was banned specifically, I'm sure, for Mirana. I mean, do you think
No, Liquid had
do you
it.
ban
Liquid
Mirana?
banned it, right?
Well, that's true. Do you ban Mirana in these games? Like, it's literally every game. I'm pretty sure it's 100% of the games. Okay, there's going to be a stat coming up apparently, so
Awesome.
can't wait to see it.
I don't know. I feel like Mirana still has, I believe, still has the highest competitive win rate in 681. So it is an obvious, amazing pick. You can ban it out or you can deal with it. I feel like by now teams should be used to playing against Mirana. You know what you're dealing with. You have to look for arrows. You have to pay attention to the map. When heroes go missing, there's always the risk of Moonlight Shadow.
15-9 Mirana.
15-9. Yeah, 63% win rate. That's actually not far off what it is in a world scale. I think Mirana's total win rate's like, what is it, 57? 59%. That's absolutely insane. I think that's the highest competitive win rate of any
And
hero.
the point you
this
brought
year.
up was, it's not that she was, I mean, she was slightly nerfed in the patch, but not to the point.
No.
It's like when you compare it to other heroes that were nerfed,
I'd
it was
call it irrelevant
relatively-
even.
Right. Okay, exactly.
It wasn't really
Wasn't
important.
comparable whatsoever. Shadow Fiend and Tinker are the last bans, and Morphling's going to be the pickup for Team Liquid. So we saw Morphling last game. He's pretty consistent carry these days.
Yeah.
Question is, do we see him in dual lane mid or something like that? Because Darkseer is going to be the off lane. Marana, of course, we've talked about this time and time again. The reason that she's picked so often is not because her win rate, but it's more so she's the most flexible hero in the game by far. You can put her literally anywhere.
Yeah, it's one of the really good things that makes a first pick a lot of the time. I feel like the approach to drafting, we're going to talk about this in a moment, that's really interesting. The approach to drafting is generally you open up your draft in a flexible way so you don't give away too much information, you can adapt to the enemy's picks, or you get the heroes that you are extremely good with so you're prepared to win the game even if you get counterpicked.
Right.
And that's, again, I'm going to return to that with Trian. That's what you do with Trian if you're a PPD or if you have a lineup with it. It's not a first pick by nature unless you know what you're doing with it. So we're going to see if eHug has a plan for that. I think in this game so far, Treant is meh, right? Because they showed their hand. Darkseer gets picked against the Living Armor. You get two mobile heroes with Leap and Waveform respectively against Overgrowth. I mean, how good is Treant in this kind of a matchup? We're going to see. I'm not impressed so far. So Elder Titan is going to be the team eHug next pick. Has great synergy with Overgrowth. Can easily land a good Earth Splitter with that. He is kind of an overlooked offlaner, I think. Team eHug are Radiant, right? Yeah. So I would never put this hero offlane on the Dire. Absolutely never.
Right.
But on the Radiant, it can work. So we're going to see if he can pull
Well,
it
the
off.
great thing about Elder Titan is you're right that the Earth Splitter, the Overgrowth, I guess you can call it. But another thing people overlook is Natural Order pretty much synergizes with every single hero. As long as you're in range with the Astral Spirit or yourself, it's going to either be minus magic armor or minus physical armor. Of course, for Witch Doctor's sake, the physical armor reduction is going to be pretty huge. But then again, we don't know how much this Witch Doctor is going to end up farming. Because if it was like the Ags from last game, the synergy is insane. Like that's a wombo combo if I've ever seen one.
Yeah. They're
Wraith
gonna
King
get
being
Ember.
Wow, Ember. Okay. Is this a mid Ember?
This is a pretty okay Ember game. I feel like this hero has been underpicked in this tournament so far. I mean, sure, he got nerfed, but not to the point where I feel like he's just fallen off as a pick.
Right.
I'm surprised to see how little teams value this hero now. When you pick Ember, you're looking at silences and stuns on the enemy team. There isn't that much you need to dodge there, and there's the Wraithfire Blast, which is actually a fairly easy stun to dodge with Sleight of Fist. It's kind of a slow projectile. You get some time to cast it, and then if you dodge it, Wraith King has used his entire initiation power. So if, like, this eHug draft right now, I feel like this has so much better synergy with the Treant Witch Doctor than what we saw in the last game from Sna. You set up a battlefield with Overgrowth. If you get Death Ward off, that's great. And then the combination, Natural Order combined with Sleight of Fist is absolutely insane. This was actually similar to the draft that DK ended up winning Starlighter with. In the last game, they were playing Elder Titan Ember together. And that's why I have really high hopes for eHug based on the draft, if they can pull it off. If they do not execute this well, what's the backup plan for this lineup?
Well, do you think that Ember is going to be more of a safe lane farmer in this patch? Because not as good early game at all. You're talking about late game, the damage reduction on Sleight of Fist really doesn't come into play too much in the later stages. And
No,
of course,
it's more
Searing
important
Change, you're
early
going to
on.
have that level up by that time anyway.
Yeah.
So for all intents and purposes, late game Ember is pretty much the same, just early game suffers. Does that mean that mid Ember isn't as good, most specifically?
I feel like he's a little more limited in the choices he can make because of how bad Searing Chains is on level 1 now compared to what it used to be. You kind of have to level that up. Or if you keep that on level 1 and you go... The past build that a lot of Embers went was 1-4-4. But now I feel like you
There's
have
your
to
hero.
get Searing Chains.
There's your hero, Synderen.
Aw.
It's not going to be the mid, though.
I love this. Most underpicked hero this version, hands down. I bet Liquid is not going to play what I would like to see done with it, but at least they pick it. That's a start.
Yeah, well, what are the lanes here? So we have Darkseer off lane, Marana in... Actually, that could be a dual lane.
He ran... Wait,
be a
what was that,
couple
K-pop?
duels
He ran... Coddle where? What lane? Support, okay. Yeah. So this is a hero I've been talking a lot. I've been sparring a lot with Fear on Keeper of the Light.
Sparring? You
Yeah.
got about sparring? Verbal sparring?
Yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
We've been talking about, I feel like this hero can actually be really good mid because he's hard to gank. He has 2,000 farming range with Illuminate. You get up a fast Axe. The Axe on Coddle this version is absolutely insane. I think it's totally underrated. So you either do that or, as Fear suggests, maybe put it in a support role that is not a lane support. He jungles a lot.
Right.
Stacks camps, farms it up, gets an early Axe. If you can have your Axe at about 15 minutes in, then you're going to hit the 16-minute daytime when the Illuminate is insane.
What? They didn't random. There's 1 second left. A Huskar. Holy jeez.
Okay, so I've
That's
seen these
insane.
videos of Jiggle Bill yelling, right? This is like... This is
Yeah.
the perfect go Rambo hero for him.
Okay, so the thing changed with him, of course, is the flaming spears, or whatever in God's name they're called.
Burning spears.
Burning spears, they do not count as an orb anymore, meaning you can
Yep.
get lifesteal without having to switch between choice. Or
Good change.
Usually you'd have to
Right.
choose between flaming spears, using them, or
Burning spears.
whatever. Okay, it doesn't make it. Doesn't
What's
really
the
make a
carry of
difference.
DK called?
The what?
The carry play for DK, what's he called?
Burning
Flaming.
spears. Flaming spears.
Flaming? Okay.
I'm probably gonna call it the rest of the game, but either way.
Yeah, I can live with that.
I mean, how do you think that? I mean, he doesn't have much damage, so the lifesteal isn't really that great. So, do you actually get damage on him in these scenarios?
I think you, the way you build Huskar now, I saw a game, I think I saw a highlight from, was it Fnatic versus Alliance, I think, where Era built Armlet into Satanic.
Right.
Because previously, you would need to compensate for the fact that you wouldn't have Burning Spear, so if you wanted to use the lifesteal mid-game, so you would actually fall off quite a bit, because you couldn't use Burning Spears for anything. Now, the Armlet, you can keep yourself pretty much going, even though you're using Burning Spear, which costs 15 health per cast. If you have Helm of the Dominator, you can actually keep going. And when you turn it into a Satanic, you're absolutely insane with the Armlet on. So I would say that's the build for this game. What I really like about the Huskar pickup is how heavily Liquid do magical damage. They have a Morphling who is... He's a type of carry who starts doing physical damage later on. He's, to a very high extent, a magical damage carry until 30 minutes. Same with Mirana, Arrow as well as Starstorm. Keeper of the Light, exclusively magic damage. Support Wraith King, same story. Like, the passive from Huskar, if he gets a good game here, Berserker's Blood is going to be absolutely huge against that lineup.
Yeah. Well, Life Break is what I'm more interested in, though. I mean, the Burning Spears are... Did I say it right? Burning Spears?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, thank God. The Burning Spears in lane is pretty redonkulous. Interested to see what the actual lanes are going to end up being. Let's actually go over the lineups real quick. So for eHug, we have Pandago on the Treant Protector, Cakes on the Elder Titan, Huskar, played by the one and only Jigglebilly. Of course, this is eHug. I think I might have said something else. Justin, playing the Ember Spirit, and last but not least, I'm a Sheep on the Witch Doctor.
And for Team Liquid, we've got TC playing as the Mirana. Way2 will be playing the support Wraith King. Secondary support, or maybe primary, we'll see how they distribute the farm, will be played by Demon, Keeper of the Light. Darkseer will be played by Bulba. And finally, Koikva will be playing as the Morphling. So, aggressive trial lane coming in from Liquid, consisting of Keeper of the Light, Wraith King, and Mirana. This lane makes a lot of sense to me. So the one really big issue that Wraith King has, even with the additional 5 base intelligence he got in a patch, he doesn't have so much mana for Wraithfire Blast. When you lane it with a Coddle, it's a 2-second stun set up into slow. It's very easy to land Illuminate as well as Arrow. And you regain the mana. You just chakra the Wraith King and he's back in the lane.
That's true.
And eHug's safe lane is really not that good. So I think this call for Liquid is perfect laning. Because Morphling is going to be fine in the mid too against Ember Spirit. What's he going to do?
Well, you're talking about all this magic damage too. Keep in mind, of course, Huskar not going to die to magic damage. So that's one benefit for picking this hero. But again, this is...
He needs to level it up first though, before that really starts kicking in. He's level 1 with Burning Spear right now.
Well, he wants to harass. So that just indicates that they want to get a little bit more aggressive here, but we'll see if that ends up being the case. God, Huskar's so weird. I was expecting a Pudge, I really was, but I guess we could be happy with a Huskar. Is this the first time pick
Illuminate,
in
there's the
this
stun.
new
Oh,
patch?
actually, I'm surprised we didn't see a stun come out there from Way2. But
They're not ready. They're not ready
the
yet.
first time we see which hero you said?
Huskar.
For the qualifiers? I think
No,
so, yeah.
for 6.81.
Nah, we've seen Fnatic have played it.
Okay.
I think Alliance have played it once too.
I shouldn't be surprised with Fnatic. They always do stuff
Yeah,
like that.
they do
They do random
improvised
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah.
So
Ember Spirit versus Morphling. What do you think about this matchup?
yeah, I want to talk a little bit about Morphling. As far as the matchup goes, Ember is melee, and he's been nerfed a bit in terms of his laning power. So I think this is a lane that I'm just flat out choosing Koikva to win. Also in terms of individual player skill, Koikva is he's an amazing solo player in every role, basically. Playing up against Ember Spirit is one of the easier lanes. He can't be harassed enough to run out of regen. He has more damage than the Ember, actually taking quite significant damage here, but it's level 1, so you can change the 1-second lockdown, so he's going to be fine. Has the salve, trades salves with him, that's okay. Oh, nice sleight of fist, though. Koikva actually, okay, so just when I say that, he actually runs out, but there's a bottle coming.
Yeah, he's going to have the bottle crow.
Yeah,
Both
it's
of them,
gonna be okay
actually.
still. I'm picking Morphling to win this lane. So far, he's 14-5. Ember is 6-0. Basically, just the flat-out extra damage that Morphling has in this lane. He's 69 damage against 58. 10 damage difference is huge in the mid lane when both heroes are using their auto attacks to farm. And more importantly, as someone in chat pointed out, like what eHug, the mistake they kind of made in the draft here is when you picked Treant and Witch Doctor this early on, this was the exact same thing that happened in the last game for Sna. Is that when you pick that as your support duo, you don't have reliable stuns, you don't have reliable silences. So the Morphling in this game, we're kind of going to see the same type of playstyle from him as the Weaver could do in the last game, because you look over eHug's lineup, who's going to stop him?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's been a problem we've seen in a lot of games where the synergy it's not quite where you would think it would be with teams at this level. But either way, I'm surprised there hasn't been a first blood attempt as of yet, 2.5 minutes in, because this is a pretty, I mean, this is has aggression written all over it for Try v Try. I mean, you have the Wraith Fire Blast with Illuminate, I suppose, but more importantly, the arrow setup. So, more interested to see the Mirana start to roam, to be perfectly honest, because I think, especially with the nerfs to Ember Spirit, you can actually gank him a lot more easy now. Huskar getting stunned along with Illuminate, but you're seeing Berserker's Blood come into effect. Not a whole lot of damage to come. But actually, when Huskar was picked, the first thing I thought of was Life Break on a surging Darkseer. You'll always catch him. It's actually Darkseer taking a lot of damage at top to this, the right clicks of Elder Titan, ET, as I like to call him.
He's doing pretty well, I think, against Bulba so far. This is not a super easy lane for Elder Titan. Pretty much playing any melee hero against Darkseer is tricky, and when Darkseer even has the easy lane advantage, that might have an even better lane because of that. But Cakes is keeping up in farm. He's 5 CS behind, which I think is okay. He's putting good harassment onto Bulba, and more importantly, I think they've been kind of, if they're the neutrals that have been farmed, I think they've been splitting the experience. So Cakes is pretty even with him, bottom lane. Take a little bit of damage here.
And you see some Maledict action on the Wraith King. Now, does Liquid have enough to kill Treant or Huskar? I mean, Witch Doctor's pretty squishy, so I'm pretty sure that's a yes around the board. But with that combination, is that enough to kill either Huskar or Treant?
I think they can kill Treant if they catch him out without living armor on, perhaps. But you're right, the kill potential just isn't there. But I think the main thing for Liquid here isn't getting kills. It's just the way this lane is going so far. I think they're fine. TC has 50% more farm than the Huskar. The supports on the Radiant side aren't really getting too much done. Keeper of the Light and Wraith King are both level 3, so they're reaching the point when they can really start dishing out serious damage.
Top lane,
we might see now.
Who would think Morphling's the ganker mid, but he's going to do just that. As Cakes is in a lot of trouble, taking the Ion Shell damage. He's going to stand his ground, apparently. Trying to get last hit, but the waveform will finish him off, so apparently Morphling best ganker in mid in this patch.
Yeah, that's a good rotation. I'm really surprised that actually worked out, too, because Morphling is one of those heroes who just traditionally plays so much in the lane that it's kind of obvious when he leaves, but then again, where would Cakes go? He wants to get the experience at the tower.
Oh my god, Huskar stuck in his own trees. The Illuminate doing so much damage. I should say the Wraith King, I apologize. But the damage from Huskar is pretty insane in these early levels, keep that in mind. Overtime damage, of course, but the stacking is pretty redonk overall.
Redonk.
Yeah, redonk. That's an American term you need to come to terms with.
That's not an American term.
Yeah,
it's a Sun's term.
I'm American, so that counts.
That's American logic.
Actually, you should have put. Okay, I guess we can't talk about your. Guess we can't talk about your escapades in the fast food since you've been here, but soon to come, friends. Soon to come. We have
yeah, it's going to be absolutely awesome.
Your rating system is beautiful. I'm hoping you can actually implement the word redonk into it somehow, but
you wish.
Yeah, we'll see. Mid lane, a lot of damage going on. The Morphling here, gonna wave out. Justin took a lot of damage from the waveform as well, but you're right. Ember Spirit, pretty much not the best mid anymore. I'm actually a little bit surprised they didn't end up putting him in the farm lane, but
he would have had a hard time against this lane. I think that would have been worse for this particular game. Maybe they saw that Liquid had the aggressive trial lane potential, but yeah. Overall, you're happy if you're Liquid. Obviously, they can't see the farm, but just have a look at the net worth graph, or the gold graph, sorry. It's 2,000 advantage for Liquid with 1-1. It's just flat-out lane wins. They're out farming in every single lane, and if nothing is happening, I feel like they're fine with that, because we've talked about how Morphling is going to be pretty much uncountered in mid-game. Mirana's the same story. Like, this is a little bit of a shaky start for eHug, and I am having a hard time already seeing them putting this lineup into effect if they don't get a good start. So I feel like there's a lot of pressure on Ember Spirit to rotate. He has to gank the bottom lane, which Ember's like one of the best early game gankers when he TPs in. Absolutely huge with the initiation from Fire Remnant and the follow-up.
If Morphling
but it's
can
actually
do it,
Morphling doing it again.
He is bottom lane.
Oh man, that's a seriously deep dive here.
Fandango. The waveform's gonna miss completely, but here comes the Wraith Fire Blast, so they're gonna initiate here with the arrow. But there comes the Maledict and double cask. Bouncing not to the greatest effect here. Treant's the first to die. Huskar will find a kill on the Keeper of the Light.
Now Way Too's dead too.
So
Way
low
Too
in the
dead
trees here. Ember Spirit will fall again to the burning spears. Thank you very much. Oh, actually the Searing Chain's not in time.
He fogged. He cast them in the fog.
I guess so. So
Liquid just dodged a bullet there. That dive was completely reckless. And Pandago actually with perfect movement, he avoided the waveform.
Who got the
he
tower?
bought a lot of time. I think the Dire just did.
Okay.
Didn't they?
Yeah, Mirana.
Oh, Mirana got it?
Mirana takes it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
NP.
So overall, Liquid get away with it. That was really risky though. I think that could have gone so much worse, but the TP from the Ember Spirit didn't have the effect it could have.
Top lane, we're gonna have some TPs along with the smoke. Both Keeper of the Light and Wraith King gonna initiate upon this poor Elder Titan. Doesn't even know what's coming. There's the Surge, Ion Shell, Wraith Fire Blast. But here's the Cask. Actually a pretty good one. The bounce should be pretty well. Along with the Elder Titan ult, it's gonna hit 3, and Elder Titan does not fall. So the
that
gank
did hit 3
all for naught.
targets. It hit Darkseer, it hit Coddle, and it hit the wall. That's a really good call right there.
Whatever. Blame gods as camera work. God damn it.
Fire gods.
But something I wanted to mention, I was thinking about how if Keeper of Light was able to get farm or levels and whatnot, the mana leak I thought it would be useless against somebody like Huskar because he doesn't have much mana, but because he's not using the mana. But I think they buffed it to a 3-second stun or something like that. So it's actually a pretty legitimate way to stun the Huskar, if you think about it, because he has no mana capacity whatsoever.
The mana leak?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 3-second stun. It is really good.
I think that's the highest level of.
And I think it's going to be very, very great against Ember Spirit as well, who's so mobile and so dependent on his mobility. And you catch him with Mana Leak, and suddenly if he starts moving, he's going to take the stun, unless if he can disjoint it with the ult or something like that. But still, that is, in my book, often a really underrated ability. This isn't going to be the best game to showcase it, but when you're playing against really mobility-dependent heroes like Timbersaw, like Blinkers, Mana Leak can be absolutely huge in breaking down.
If only eHug had that skill against the Wraith King.
Yeah, against Wraith King, against Morphling, against Mirana, and Doxier in particular, it would have actually been really good for them. But yeah, would have given them different lanes, perhaps better lanes than they actually ended up getting. But it's just a snowball game. This one, it's Liquid completely out farming their opponents every minute. They now have almost a 5,000 gold lead with 1 tower destroyed, so about 3,000 in just lane farm. Top lane, TC's gonna get caught out.
Searing Chains is there. Here comes the Moonlight Shadow, though. That might be too much damage to speak of. Mirana falls. And I want to talk about Huskar as he is farming in the bot lane right now. This is a hero, this is all mid-game. This hero is all mid-game. So once he gets his ult, expect him to start actually taking part in fights.
Oh, wait, what?
What?
He's level 7 and he's put in 5 skill points.
Well, I don't know.
That is weird. Well, he has
He's
the
holding
points.
on to it. Why wouldn't you get your
at least
ult?
put your point in your ult?
Yeah.
That's very unusual that you wouldn't do that. But he's going to do it before he jumps, I guess.
Is he finishing Earn or Lifesteal first? Or that could even be an Armlet. I doubt he goes Armlet before Lifesteal, though.
I think you want to go Armlet here, still, to be honest. The only damage over time there is on Liquid is the Ion Shell from Doxier, and the Wraithfire Blast 2-second damage after the stun, which is very situational. So Armlet toggling is actually not that difficult if you manage to just get a little bit out of the fight and trigger it again. If you have damage over time on you, it's almost impossible now, but I think the Armlet is the better choice, especially because if you're eHug, you have to be feeling how much you're losing this game, else you're just misreading the situation. So get mid-game efficiency items. Armlet is among the very, very best you can get on many strength heroes. Start fighting. We're going to see if they're going to do exactly that. Witch Doctor's getting close to level 6, so they're starting to get up their potential combo with that. Train is level 4 at 10 minutes, though.
Has Treant ever done well in any game of cast? It's always under-leveled, under-farmed, overappreciated, honestly, in the pick draft. But
to me, he's the big overpick of the tournament so far, really.
So far. Little amalgamation of heroes here for eHug, but they're not really going to end up finding anybody unless... I mean, Liquid's even pulling the lane, so they don't really want to fight. Of course, Darkseer has the mech, so they could fight if they wanted to, but they're probably waiting for Morphling to get some core item. But what do you think Morphling goes for this game? Like, first item. First main item.
I actually don't think the Linkins is that necessary here. What's he going to break with it? He can block Life Break, right?
Yeah.
I think so. You still jump to him, but you don't get the damage from Life Break, so that's actually pretty damn good. That's quite a lot of health. You can block the Cask. Isn't that it?
The
Leech
first
Seed.
bounce of Cask, yeah.
First bounce of Cask or Leech Seed. So.
Yeah, not the greatest.
Nah, not really that good. I think Koifu can go for a combat build, or you can. This might be a game where you can just go first item E-Blade. He's gonna go really aggressively on Pandago here, actually using the haste rune, going very, very hard, easy kill. Double TP support is gonna be way too late. Koifu just got to get a murder here.
Not only that, but double TP support from people that have bought compendiums. Very important to note, Synderen, because you do not have one yet. You are a terrible, terrible person. Just saying.
Is that also the reason that Justin's bottle looks different?
Yeah, it's bottle effect, it's blink, TPs, and
you just need to remember it's not my fault.
yeah, Fountain Hill.
It's not my fault. I want one, but I can't buy it.
You're like a child. Can't get candy.
What's that got to do with anything?
What do you mean? Sound like a child. What's that do with anything? Jiggle Billy farming towards bottom lane, and so hey, that's the jungle keeper of the light you've been begging for, Synderen.
Yeah, and he did get the helm of the Dominator, so listening to your terrible advice. Yeah. It could end up well. I feel like it's either of those two he goes for. I think the more important thing isn't actually which items he builds, is that he puts it to use.
Yeah.
If he keeps playing this bottom safe lane farm, he is the strongest hero on his team right now.
I
He
was
has a
talking
lot of
about
weight on his
keeper in the
shoulders.
jungle.
Yeah,
Your favorite.
yeah, that's true. He is. He's got a Quelling Blade, classic demon, on the Keeper of Light, so you can get yourself into classic Jimmy play, getting yourself into the trees and use Illuminate. Will allow him to stack a lot easier as well. He might double stack this actually if he can manage to pull the golems. Okay, he's only stacking one. That one's
Yeah,
to light.
knowing that Demon's playing the hero, he's gonna get farm
Yeah.
one way or another. So I guess we shouldn't.
I'm
be
curious to
surprised.
see what he goes for. I think they already have the mech on Bulba. He has such an amazing game. He's got 100 CS at 13 minutes, which is really damn good on the Darkseer. So very nice. And because of that, I think we're going to see first item Ags on Demon. The timing is probably going to be around not the next daytime, but the one after that. And the reason I'm putting so much emphasis on daytime, I think we should just explain really briefly what the Ags upgrade on Coddle does. So during the day, you have 1800 unobstructed vision, the same type of vision that Night Stalker has with his eggs.
Yep.
During nighttime, you have your ultimate on constantly for the rest of the game, also during the night, and your Illuminate heals 3/4 of the damage it does during the day. So even if it's just of the damage of the skill, not the damage it applies along the way. So if you channel it fully at level 4, it's 375 AoE heal on a 10-second cooldown. So 1.5 mech on a 10-second cooldown in terms of heal. That is
I'm not gonna lie.
insane.
I was half expecting the last pick for eHug to be Night Stalker to counter Keeper of the Light.
It's kind of a really gimmicky counter though.
Yeah.
But
Maybe if Keeper becomes more popular into that kind of playstyle that you've been begging for, as Cakes is really low, is gonna fall back to the base. Maybe then we'll start seeing Night Stalker, which I'm sure you will love as well. That's like 2 loves of your life there.
yeah,
Synderen.
it is. That'd be good.
Elder Titan working on his drums. Looks like Darkseer. He's had the mech for a while. Does he go Blink first after the mech?
Knowing Bulba, I think if he has this much farm in this type of game, I think he's just gonna keep tanking up. Like, get a Shiva's Guard, maybe get a Scythe. The Blink isn't necessary yet, because Liquid knows the grip they have on this game. They're just talking between each other. How much farm do you have? I have 100. I have 100. I have 78 on Mirana. Okay, keep farming, right? They have more farm efficiency between all their heroes. Their Coddle is starting to get farm too, like we talked about. He's actually one of the supports that can get the most farm. I was wrong again. He gets the Blink Dagger. Well done. I'm calling out every item incorrectly, apart from the Ags. He got the point booster. He's going to turn that into Scotty. And just out of this world. I give up. Or Bloodstone.
Yeah,
Fucking hell.
Bloodstone's legit, man. Come on. Them cooldowns.
So he has the level 4 in Illuminate now, so the farming rate, you can see Demon's priority here. Just maxing out Illuminate to farm faster, push out lanes, keep the pressure going. And as long as eHug aren't doing anything, this game is just falling apart. 7,500 gold.
Yeah.
Against a team with 4 kills and 1 tower kill. I don't think I've seen this amount of out farm in 2014 until now, pretty much. That is...
That's a bold statement, Synderen.
Well,
my goodness.
In the games where you have a way bigger out farm, it's because you take towers, you take kills. The kills are even. The towers are 1 in advantage. They have 6,000 gold in map farm at 15 minutes. That is... Think about it. It's 400 GPM.
That's a lot.
That's crazy. So
I just realized TC's playing the Mirana. I'm used to him playing the Wraith King as a carry. It's like every time they play carry.
Oh, Justin up top. Okay, he's gonna
zip
dodge
out.
the stun.
As is the moral of the story here. For any Spirit Brother, they all have mobility, so he's going to get away just fine. Huskar, I really feel like he needs to be a part of these fights. Like, you can't just farm all day on the Huskar.
He is porting.
Here he goes. He's working on his armlet, but only has 1 piece of it right now. Life Break. Can he do it? He's not going to jump. He's not going to dunk it. And of course,
Perfect.
Moonlight Shadow is amazing counter initiation for that.
So Liquid, that's a disengage wall. They didn't want to take that fight. They're like, okay, we're stronger, but we don't have to risk it. Stop the fight. We force TPs. Go back to farming the map. Morphling goes mid again. He's level 13, by the way, which is absurdly high at minute 16. Midas is ready on him as well. We might see a Skadi first even, or Manta first from Koikva. He has the orb. I don't think he's going Linken's with it. But he is just farming out of this world. And top lane, actually, pretty good initiation here from eHug. Is it going to bring anything with it, though?
We might get the Wraith King. He does have his ult, though, so the TP support might be there for Liquid. TC's going down a little bit to the Maldic, but
Ooh,
not enough
nice
damage to take him
Illuminate.
out.
Good damage
Illuminate,
on Cakes.
Yeah, it clips Cakes. He's going to be fine. And I feel like a lot of these fights are just nobody dies. Everybody just runs away in shame, essentially. But, of course, that's to Liquid's advantage. There's the armlet. You have to
he could go for this. Koikva, he's out of mana.
Oh, the initiation.
He has a regen, he can't use it.
Can't use it.
Oh,
Jiggle Billy.
boy.
What a beast. What a player.
That is
What
a
an
really
armlet.
huge kill.
What a Huskar. What a burning spear.
So what? So what you're hoping right now for the Huskar is that this gives him confidence and that he tries to fight more.
Yeah.
It's
That's all this game is about. Having confidence that you can click R. Absolutely.
just that you can commit. He is like right now in the whole game, he's the strongest hero. If you pick Huskar, you pick him to peak at around this moment.
Right.
And this is a good matchup for him because there's not that much physical damage. There's not a TA who can one-shot you. There's no pure damage on Liquid to just go through your resistance. So this is the time. Go push, go take fights. But Liquid, they have split pushers. They have Darkseer pushing a lane. They have Morphling pushing a lane, apart from when he dies to the Huskar. And Keeper of the Light can also push a lane. He can recall people around. Like, if you're Liquid right now, just keep split pushing, keep gaining advantage, eventually take Roshan, and yeah. eHug just needs to force it more. We're gonna keep coming back to it, but this game is actually really, really simple from a strategic standpoint. There's only that one way to play it.
It's not like they need to push towers. Or obviously they do, but they need to like start smoke ganking. I mean, Huskar's main advantage is picking off people. It's not like teamfight's not the greatest. Obviously, you're gonna mitigate a lot of damage with that Berserker's blood, but it's really about picking people off. And well, this is Huskar's time to shine, so to speak. If there is a time to shine for Huskar, this is it.
Yep. I'm curious to see what he goes next, if he goes into BKB or if he finishes the Satanic. I think the Satanic would actually be really great here. TP top, might see an initiation here. Cast goes out,
No,
nice
arrow's
arrow.
gonna hit directly on Jigglebilly. There's the Maledict, not connecting whatsoever. And the life break actually might be in range here. It is now, but here comes the Ray Fire Blast. Illuminate's not going to do any damage because it is Huskar at the end of the day. And of course, Moonlight's a beautiful vacuum into the wall. That's one kill right off the bat. Poor Witch Doctor. Look at it die, more like it. Ember Spirit doing a little damage with his Sleight of Fist, but here comes the Overgrowth. Nicely done, but of course it's defensively used. Jigglebilly.
Here comes Jigglebilly.
Is that an imitation of Jigglebilly? I don't know. It looks like Train actually finished off Mirana, surprisingly enough.
Hit targets! Hit
As
them!
the armlet's being toggled by Jigglebilly. Unfortunately, will die with it activated. Cakes on the run, Treant on the run, everybody for eHug on the freaking run. Cakes is actually stuck in between an amalgamation of Liquid heroes, but actually Koivka might be the one-time glory. Death Ward being used to full effect,
Level 3
along
Maledict?
with the Maledict.
Yeah, this is enough.
Strengthening, but
He's
no
got-
mana to speak
maybe?
of.
No, he's going to be fine, actually.
Okay, then.
Never mind,
What
not
level
even
is that
close.
Maledict?
Level 3.
Really? That's surprising. Okay.
But the morph just helps so much.
I think
the tower
something to
falls
keep
as
in
well.
mind here is even if they get a good initiation, like with obviously Overgrowth is what you want, but assuming that we're going to be seeing Treant play the same way we've been seeing him play, which is not effectively, Huskar is the main advantage you have with initiation. But of course, Moonlight Shadow is so good against heroes like that. You get the burst damage and then you lose them, you know, and you can reinitiate as Liquid has a lot of sustainability.
I'm gonna stop calling items.
What?
I give up.
What happened?
He got the fucking Lincolns.
Oh,
I'm getting everything
Morphling?
wrong.
It's
I'm getting
okay.
absolutely everything wrong apart from the Axon Coddle.
it's a safe pick.
I'm gonna hold on to that. That's the only thing I said.
It's a very safe pick.
Yeah. Well, he can block the life break, which is great. So
Coddle has
I
axe
still feel like
completed.
it's a little underwhelming in this game, but
You're right. 60 gold away from finishing.
yeah.
So you're going to see your dream come true, Synderen. It's like a wet dream or something.
So the one thing that's a big shame about this is if Liquid wins this game, it's not going to be because of Coddle, because they're so damn far ahead already. So I
Right.
can't really see Coddle in a clutch situation. They're 12k gold ahead, 10k experience. If we don't see any team fights breaking
Echo
out, in this
Stomp
game, that's
actually
pretty
hits, but it's only level 1, so the duration's not very high, as we're seeing officially the Keeper of Life finishing the Ags.
I think Jigglebill needs to get a Blink Dagger so he can
Yeah.
catch people.
I completely agree. Blink Ags, man.
Here we go.
That's all you need.
TC.
Of course, Life Break
And
has
wait
very long range, so you can actually catch Wraith King here, but he
Yeah,
doesn't
way
have
too's
vision.
dead. He's going to die twice.
Astral
No,
Spirit's
wait,
not
what?
going to catch him.
He's just going to
Eventually
run
he
the
will find
obvious
him.
way and actually get away with it.
He'll
Or
find him.
there's the life break.
Yeah, Life
Dust as
Break.
well. Yeah, he's
So
died
good.
twice. He's totally dead.
He comes back. Oh, arrow's actually going to hit Cakes directly in the side of the face, but won't really matter. Right
The side of the face?
I don't know.
In the cheek?
In the horse.
Okay.
Call it the horse.
And top tower being pressured by Liquid meanwhile. So at least they get that one pick off, but it was a 1-for-1 trade again. Witch Doctor died in the mid lane. So go Jigglebilly. Oh, he's got cooldown on the ult. Else he could have actually gone for that. Top lane, Justin taking some significant damage too.
And that's another thing to keep in mind. Ember Spirit has been pretty much non-existent. this
Yeah.
game. And that's something we talked about. Early game is not going to be very good. So.
And the thing,
Oh, Echo Stomp not able to go off, and Cakes gets destroyed. Searing Chains, you're seeing it there, level 2. But this tower, in all likelihood, dead.
yeah, it's gone. That is gone. They're
I
not
mean,
going
Ember
to be in time to
Spirit,
save it.
I don't know. I agree with you. The fact that I still feel like you don't play in mid anymore. It's just not effective. I mean, if we see a Morphling out ganking an Ember Spirit, something's wrong.
That's
No.
not necessarily the hero matchup. That could also just be the players and the map control in general. So we're talking a lot about how eHug should just be finding fights, but it's not necessarily as easy as it sounds. When you're getting split pushed on all lanes, you're going to have to defend sometimes. And this is basically just Liquid out map controlling them. They've done the entire game. They've been winning all 3 lanes. They get more farm. They farm the jungle. You can see Demon even double farming the Radiant jungle. They are controlling the entire map. And eHug, I feel like it's just too late. They needed to search for the fights very early on before this heavy map control started kicking in for Liquid. I mean, sure, they had a good start for Liquid, but not necessarily one that you couldn't even deal with. We're reaching the stage now where even finding pickoffs for eHug is going to be so hard because they're constantly going to need to defend, and they don't have the ganking power to kill a Morphling, to kill the Darkseer very easily. This is,
I know what you're
It's just
anticipating
tough.
here, Synderen. I know exactly what you're excited for. You're excited for it to turn daytime. So
Oh yeah,
Keeper Light
Space
actually does something.
he's riding on a reindeer. He is riding on a reindeer.
it?
How
Oh, you're
awesome
right.
is that?
That is pretty sick.
And he is looking really weird now.
Of course, having
Nice
Ags-
camera, gods.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Roche is dying, by the way. No big deal. Keep looking at the reindeer. We love the reindeer.
Hey, I
So
don't mind
there-
this at all. Freaking love these things.
Aegis is going to go to Koikva. He's
Yep.
got 4k gold. I think that's an Eagle Song. He's going to go for the very classic Lincolns into E-Blade build. Full agility. Oh, okay, 7 strength, 13 strength,
Of
19
course, we should
strength.
mention for people that aren't, I know you went over the Keeper of the Light Ags and all that good stuff, but having the Spirit form is actually active. It's on all the time, not just daytime. That's
Yeah.
the one thing that's
Yes.
constant. But the rest of the stuff that he mentioned is only during daytime, so that's
Yeah.
something to keep in mind.
And also,
Oh my goodness, okay. Wave 2 is going to go down. The TP's not going to be there. And of course, his ult, I believe it's only level 1, so redonkulous cooldown.
yeah. And I want to talk a little bit more about Keeper of the Light. So when you level up your ult, the recall cooldown or duration, the time it takes to call someone in, falls from 5 to 4 to 3, and your cooldown on Blinding Light goes 20, 16 to 12. So when you have this ult all the time, it is an AoE blind on a 12-second
that heal.
cooldown you can constantly use, and the heal just is absolutely huge. Gods, can we get focus on Coddle, please? Just follow him. Oh, it's good. I like that. Look, he's riding on a reindeer.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It's a reindeer.
That weapon's pretty beastly, too. Oh, he has the gem, too. This is something I felt like eHug
All right,
needed
Gods,
to pick up.
Gods,
with
you
the
can
gem.
look at something else now. It's okay.
No, I
I've seen
prefer
enough.
the Keeper.
All right, wait for the next Illum.
Yeah, the
Bottom
Illuminate is what I
lane.
want to see.
Gods, look at the bottom lane. Okay, Mirana Morphling split pushing. This tower is taking a lot of damage, and this is the right duo to have split pushing because neither of them can really get caught out here. E-Blade is completed for Koikva. He is completely careless. That is why he's careless.
Real careless, Koika. Give me a break, man.
And
He's going to replicate out. That tower's not dead
here is
as
the
of yet.
jump.
Life break, dunking, Michael Jordan, whatever you want to call him, TC. Doesn't have leap for another 25 seconds. He actually might be dead here with a couple more spears.
Oh, nice.
He's
Really
dead.
nice spirit
Goes down to
there.
the dot. Astral Spirit doing a lot of damage in the fact. Ember Spirit, apparently, getting a kill on Bulba.
And Koikva's just baiting them right now. He knows the Wraith King is coming into his help. Koikva's just dying here.
Well, your calls are just spot on.
I feel like you could have just ran away there, but okay.
Oh, wow. Maelstrom on Huskar. I was not expecting that. I mean, obviously, a
I fucking
Mjolnir
love Jiggle
would be
Billy.
amazing.
That's just full random.
Well, if you think about
Rambo random.
Mjolnir obviously helps with DPS and whatnot, but the actual charge is
Blinding
amazing on
light.
Huskar as well.
Mana leak as well. And
Poor
he's
Justin.
gonna jump out. And you see that actually after he jumped, he still got hit by the mana leak on the way out. So the mana was leaked when he jumped out with the activate Fire Remnant ability.
He's going for a Battle Fury. Is that a little late for that?
I don't know what else.
Should have gone double Mjolnir, obviously.
The
Obvious
problem
choice.
is, if you're eHug now, you're in a position where the entire point of your lineup is already passed. So now you're playing for super late game with double Rapier, Ember Spirit, with Huskar, with 4 Mjolnirs.
How did they get there?
That's terrible.
How did they get to that
And
point?
Witch Doctor with full inventory because, you know, they're 20k gold behind, which they might not be feeling, but they should be feeling that they're losing this pretty heavily. So the only way they can win this is for Liquid to make a mistake, find some pickoffs, get a team fight, and start getting some items up on Ember, who needs to carry this.
Oh,
And
Morphling surrounded at bottom lane, of course, and Ember Spirit as well. as
jump
top.
out.
Lincoln's used.
he
Wait
could
for him.
actually possibly not be in trouble here,
He's
and that
fine.
is indeed going to be the case. Notice how I changed that, so I was
Yes.
actually right?
It's a great way to use your words, I think.
That's awesome.
Do you think Blink should be the choice next? I know you mentioned that as
On
possibility
Huskar?
for Huskar, yeah. I feel like their initiation is really lacking. Like, they have the Ember Spirit, Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains combination, but
I think
been
eHug should
used.
go 5 Hand of Midas now and just play for the late game. Honestly, just hope Liquid doesn't push a recover by 5 recovery Midases. It's not really going to happen though. Liquid are going to immediately be pushing the top lane. Koikva actually taking some pretty good damage here, but has the haste rune. He's going to run out. He could get recalled here by the Keeper of the Light. And Liquid, they're at the end of the daytime here, so Illuminate is still going to be healing. Going to be seeing that come into effect right now. Heals the wave up again.
not going to connect. Echo Stomp misses.
Huskar!
Aside from the
Nope.
creeps.
Yep,
There
run with
goes
that
the
mana
mana
break
break.
on. You don't need mana.
You really don't.
He actually doesn't.
Doesn't really care. There's the Moonlight Shadow again. You need a gem on eHug, I feel like. It's really important. And you're right, daytime about to end. So this might be the last tower we'll be seeing down for just a little bit. Right, Fire Blast used. Zone out.
Could see it. This is a pretty good vacuum
Arrow
opportunity.
hits Huskar.
This is a
Sleight of
perfect vacuum
Fist.
opportunity if he can get in.
I don't know if he can get in.
He's got cooldown on it. He took damage from something.
Treant trying with all his might to keep this tower alive. It's just not going to be the case. Goes down to the red fire.
There we go. There it is. Oh, the blinding light
Elder
messes
Titan.
it up.
Oh my god, the combinations are not there whatsoever. But at this point, it doesn't really matter. I mean, Witch Doctor's dead. Everybody getting stunned. Echo Stomp actually being used to full effect here, surprisingly. Liquid is really low on a lot of these heroes. Jiggle Billy, I love you, but you're dead. So 2 dead for eHug.
3
Make
dead.
that 3.
4.
Could be the entire team. 4. Last is Elder Titan. He's going to get out, limping away.
If Demon didn't use blinding light there, that team fight would have just been boom. He just saved 4 heroes at once with the
That's a
blinding
good
light.
clip, right? Let's save that clip.
That's
guys.
good. The thing is, they still won the fight, but that was a lost fight. That misplay would have cost them the fight if they were even remotely close in farm. But Liquid can misplay and still win the fight very convincingly. Just shows what position they're in. They can choose to go for Roshan in. Well, that's actually quite a long time. They still have the Aegis? No, they did use that.
Top tower is under attack.
But this Morphling in the Darkseer, just the farm on Darkseer.
Well, you're
He's got
seeing- okay,
Blink,
so
Mech,
The team fight
Shiva's
obviously
and
was
Suki
not.
Gold.
The coordination was not there for Liquid. They still won the fight. So
Yeah.
that just goes to show you that eHug needs to do something remarkable to get back in this game. And
Yeah.
the farm advantage Liquid, the experience advantage Liquid, everything advantage Liquid, map control, whatever else you want to talk about, advantage Liquid. And I think a lot of it has to do with eHug heroes. I mean, you're talking about mid game. Obviously, Ember Spirit can be amazing late game, but Huskar, he's not good late game. Period. BKBs destroy him. 100%. I mean, it goes through BKB, but the ult does, or the damage doesn't.
I actually don't think it's that simple. He's better late game than you give him credit for, but there's certainly better carry heroes. Let's put it that way. And Liquid has 2 of them. In Mirana and Morphling, they're probably going to be a stronger.
Typically, when you
stronger
pick
late gamers.
a Huskar, you pick him for mid game.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying you pick it as a late game carry. If that was the plan for eHug, I just don't agree with that game plan at all. But I feel like that's not what they wanted, but they just lost the early game so heavily that they never got to execute what they actually wanted. And they got control around the map, as we've said countless times. And now they're in this position where it's a little bit awkward because they want to go around the map and split push, but then again, all of their heroes can actually pretty easily get caught out by Liquid's heroes. Just 1 arrow or any sort of initiation from the Wraith King can give them a kill. And the whole map is just being taken over. Liquid are farming the Radiant
Pandago is resigned
Ancients.
to just stalk this TC. Actually, they're going to get the initiation off half dead. Moonlight Shadow's not there in
Full
time.
dead.
Full dead. So I was going to say, eHug really needs a gem, but of course, if you're going to use it to that effect, as far as the Moonlight Shadow, you're not going to. The Fate Time's not there fast enough. But either way, it's just 1 pick off. Not the end of the world for Liquid.
Holy shit, Clark is level 20.
Really?
Oh my goodness. He's 11, 1, and 1.
Dire's bottom
1, 1,
tower
1,
is
1.
under attack.
That is pretty
Dire's
sick.
structures are
Has the Yasha,
fortified.
probably going for Manta, I would assume. Blade Mail now on Wraith.
Look at that. eHug's pushing a tower.
Well, they do need that first tier 1 tower, so
He's hitting. Doing damage.
that's a rite of passage.
1 more
if
attack.
nothing
1
else.
more. And nope.
Manta
Surprised they
completed
back
now.
out. This is the best chance they're going to get. It's 4 on 5. Potom is dead. Darkseer was actually split pushing top. They don't know he has cooldown on TP. They could have taken that tower for free. So,
Are they waiting for daytime to push?
Liquid?
Yeah. I don't think
Maybe.
they even need it.
I don't
but
think they need to. They could be doing that. This could also just, they feel like they're in a good position. Maybe they're, even if you feel like you're in a good position, you can win the game. Sometimes you just use these games for practice in map controlling, because that's something that's really important to do. Be able to do as a team is, when you're leading, keep controlling the map, keep draining the map of resources without getting caught out. So maybe they're trying to practice that a little bit.
Demon at half HP, but Ember will
Okay,
zip away.
he took a little bit of the mana leak, I think. Oh yeah, Demon has 2 types of boots. That's a good point.
No,
Might see a third
he
one.
needs 2 more.
Yeah.
He needs 2 more.
He'll get there.
Okay, they're pairs of boots. I don't
So-
see 2 boots of travel and 2 tranquils, man. I guess that's That is, if you, that's true. It is boots. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Boots of Tranquil.
Getting called out by our stats guy here, unfortunately. Very professional, K-pop. As we're seeing another up close and personal look at Demon. Somebody's got a crush over there on the camera.
Gods just can't wait for Christmas. Like,
What?
it's Santa on his reindeer.
Oh, okay.
All right, technically Santa isn't on the reindeer, but the reindeer's throwing the cart. But this is as close as you get in Dota 2. Right?
Gandalf is as close to the Santa you're gonna get, I guess.
Yeah.
Bottom lane.
Gonna pour it down.
Koika.
Actually, Koika could be initiated on.
it
He
up.
has a replicate.
He's
Oh, nice waveform. He's gonna. Okay, I'm blocked. Panic. R. Get out.
That was intended.
Yeah.
Tower could be denied, but actually, I would assume they do it.
Go do it, Jiggle Billy.
Nope, they're gonna heal it up.
Okay. Well, yeah. Why not? The Liquid look like they're not committing for this.
And of course, with Boots of Travel, Keeper can just push himself now. He can just go wherever the hell he wants.
They've
In
got
fact,
a 25,000
if
gold lead
you-
with a 4-kill lead.
If you force the other team to
don't even
defend tier
know.
2 like right there, and you have Keeper Light with Boots of Travel, go to the opposite lane, recall somebody, and then goodbye top tower.
Or just
Force
team fight
initiation.
with Illuminate. Just
Or you can just win with these items, I guess.
let
Yeah,
the
that's
enemy
also-
team run into you, give them 500 damage, heal all your allies for 375, blinding light the enemy team, mana leak 4 heroes because you can do that, and
I'm
then
obsessed with that hero.
I'm so
Roshan's
in love
dead.
with Keeper of the Light. I think.
Roshan has fallen to the
But
Unfortunately,
the
we're
reason
not
the
seeing,
reason, don't get me wrong, like I don't want to overrate the hero, but the reason I want to see this happening is that I feel like Liquid are in a position where they can showcase the strength of the hero. They have everything they need, and they're still not doing it. Now I'm afraid that the game just ends, and we're like, yeah, Coddle Ags was great, but he
Let's
didn't even get
just-
to use it.
Let's
right?
just prematurely call Coddle the MVP of this game.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Demon has been absolutely amazing with his Quelling Blade. Just sick plays, the best
Man,
jukes of the game.
Stacking of the jungle is so important for that guy, man.
Does he have Boots of Travel ready? Yes, he does. He can pour it down. Okay, it's go time, Liquid. Here we go.
Despite the heals, eHug is just going to give it up. Probably a good choice.
27k gold lead. Koikva is off the charts on farm. So is Bulba. I think it's been a long time since I saw this farm Darkseer. He's got 250 CS in 35 minutes.
Wow.
And he will defend the top lane. But this is fine because he can actually do this. And
Oh,
he's
gonna
going to stop the
back.
port. There's the mana leak.
Along with the Shivas used, that is the
oh
slowest
man,
Fire
that's a
Remnant
really
I have ever
fast
seen.
Fire Remnant.
Keep going, buddy. But the waveform will finish him off.
He did.
And of course, they can transition this into an easy push. 60-second cooldown on the death for Ember Spirit. I don't even know
Cooldown on the death.
cooldown on the death timer?
That's awesome.
I don't know what to call it. Just English, okay?
If you have cooldown on death,
Yeah.
don't you have Aegis?
Synderen, I don't
Sorry.
appreciate this sarcasm.
No, that wasn't sarcasm. That was actually right.
Okay.
Okay, Liquid, they do get a bonus kill and immediately transition into mid. There's a tier 2 tower to claim, so I mean, why not? Go get that with your sick advantage here. Echo Stomp trying to buy a little bit of space here. Will hit Koikva, but Way 2 is not afraid of tanking the tower. and just
Huskar with
there's
Satanic
base
now.
breaking
Let's see this bad boy go to work.
Oh, his net worth is actually okay.
Yeah.
It's just everyone else is really far behind. Compared to the potential of farming for the series, got 200 CS at 35. For a hero that doesn't have a single AoE ability,
Oh my god.
that's actually pretty good.
Double Maelstrom. Maybe it's triple. I don't even know at this point. Tier 3 tower. Quarter dead,
Double Maelstrom?
at least, right?
There's even
Wraith
one.
King and...
Oh, Maelstrom, I thought you meant Mjolnir. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
you're
actually,
right.
it's one for each side, I should say.
Yep.
That's right. So Scotty finished on Morphling. Not sure if it's in the actual inventory yet, but Jigglebilly getting pushed around by the Morphling. Lovely to see. Of course, the Age is still upon him, so he can be pretty aggressive if he wants to. Siege this very slowly, and of course, with that heal from Illuminate,
Look at
booyah! So good.
Legit? Okay.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so
You know,
so
I think
Treant's
Morphling
dead.
is still better than Coddle with this amount of farm, but Coddle's close.
Huskar goes down. Of course, the physical damage so good against him. That's 3 dead right off the bat. Wraith King used his ult. That's literally all that's been lost in this fight. Liquid going to take this Rax, absolutely no problem. 19-11 advantage. Watch for the GGs shortly, I would assume. Ember Spirit and Elder Titan will join the club of death. And Koika gets an ultra kill.
And that's GG. Yeah, this game is just completely over. And I feel like so
Look at
far
that
in this
close-up,
tournament, I
man.
think
That's
a lot of
beautiful.
people were skeptical about Liquid going into this qualifier. I'm like, Liquid for me are still definitely the favorites in the qualifier. Even though they've been performing poorly lately, this is a very important tournament. They're all going to give it 100%. A lot of the opponents are not too difficult, so I still feel like so far in the games we've seen from Liquid, they're just one level above all of their opponents. I'm curious to see them against Gnar. Personally, for me, that's the only game I feel like Liquid could lose. Maybe if Revenge pulls off something weird, but like we were talking about eHug maybe being a team that could potentially reach top 4.
That was you.
Okay,
you,
I didn't have
whatever,
too much
you know.
backup on that, but I'm really excited for Liquid versus Gnar and Liquid versus Revenge, like I said, because
Liquid have already beaten Revenge.
oh, they have. Sorry, yeah, you're right.
That was
so
earlier today.
yeah, that's right. That was their first game actually.
This is pretty much the
Right.
day that decides it for Liquid. Liquid play all their tough opponents
That's
today,
right. Yeah. So it's only Gnar that's left actually.
and that's it. That's the
I'm
final match.
I'm paying a lot of attention. I'm really good at that.
So would you guys say that the top two now, Gnar and Liquid?
I said
Those were
started
my
today.
first two
Liquid going to go
to begin with.
undefeated the entire qualifier,
Really? Okay.
group stage and playoffs.
I feel like you're the only person though. A lot of people have been hating on Liquid lately.
I had them as number 2. After today, they're probably number 1.
And I think NAR. I haven't actually seen NAR play. I've saw one game against Isurus where Isurus went level 1 Roche and then they got like wiped and
That
lost
was
the
awesome.
game. Yeah, it was a game.
16-0 game, right?
15.
15-0.
Only 15.
10-minute GG. That's the only game I've seen of NAR. So I don't know how good NAR are really playing, but hey,
I still think I would have chosen. I mean, you still have to remember the star power. Yeah, sure, Gnar has some great individual players, but they're just coming back. They're playing against. They're playing against a really a team that's been struggling, but still a team. And when it really matters, the good teams will pull off.
You can't really
and pull
look
out
at
ahead,
NAR
right?
and think, oh, they're a team. You just see
No.
a bunch of really. I think individually they're maybe more skilled than Liquid.
Yeah, I
I'm
agree.
personally surprised
agree.
how well they've been doing Gnar. I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting them to be as good as they are, but I still think this is the one team they can't overcome. But I think if you're Gnar, you're still going to be happy with getting second place, just so you get to play the wildcard match, right? If you get to qualify
Yes.
for international, I think they're going to be really happy. When did they throw the team together? 3 weeks ago or something? A month?
Yes.
Pretty short. They
That-
beat Liquid
so-
out in the Summit America.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
Liquid got 4th, not even
That
3rd.
was-
So
Yeah.
That was hard.
That's
That was
rough.
But this
embarrassing.
is a new Liquid. They're actually doing aggro try, which is cool. They're actually not giving TC Luna because that's way too passive, I think, for their overall team
A
playstyle.
new Liquid not giving TC Luna.
That's good. It's too predictable too.
Yeah.
He
it's-
transitioned to the other chick on the.
I still feel this game like
Yes.
like
But
you
this is
say,
Mirana's
Liquid
patch.
maybe played a bit too passive. Do you feel like? I mean, Liquid.
Yes.
Liquid dominated this game, and don't get me wrong, but I feel like they could have won the game faster.
They could have won this in 25
this
minutes.
game? Yeah.
I think 25.
that Coddle Axe. That's
Coddle
GG
Axe,
right there.
daytime, endgame.
It was pretty cool. The heal was awesome.
It's
I didn't even get to use
That
it.
seemed like a very.
I mean,
Such a
you
shame.
talk about MVPs.
Awesome.
Like I think you just could like Morphling's kind of the MVP.
Morphling. Yeah.
Like Morphling just won his lane, was getting solo. Even like
Yeah.
10 minutes in the game, he was getting solo kills.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're Gnar going into this matchup, I think Koikva is the best player to lock down if you get the chance to. I think
Yes.
in terms of raw talent, he might be the best player on Team Liquid. I think that's what he generally gets
Yes.
praise from the community for as well. I think Koikva can play so many different heroes, so many different roles that if you lock him out, you might be able to. You can enable your team to pull on later on in the game. But if you give him a Morphling with a game like that, Liquid aren't gonna lose. It's-
You
I
can
don't
give
think.
TC all the farm in the world. He never seems to win Liquid games though. Like
That's true.
Not as much as he
hard
used
as that
to.
sounds.
He's like
it's
a backup plan more than anything. I feel
But
like.
even like as a backup plan, I feel he only works as a backup plan when they're ahead anyways. In a close game, I feel like they generally lose late game just because
Yeah, I mean, you
I
can-
never see TC having huge.
He's
impact.
not a game changer.
You can look at this game as well. I mean, it's just one game to choose from, right?
Yeah.
But he went 2, 4, and 6. He got caught off the most in the whole game. I didn't really see any magical
Yeah.
arrows or anything come out.
That's true.
He's
And he got good farm, but I didn't. You know, when you're playing Mirana, you're always looking for like those arrows
Yeah.
or the really good Moonlight Shadows that set up team fights. Or
He definitely
Right.
fits into like the team element of Liquid, but I'd say like individually skilled, he's probably the weakest player on the team almost. Like for his role.
But that's weird to say, right? Because if you look back half a year, I feel like TZ was their best player. I don't know what's been happening. I
least
feel like
their
he was
most
really solid. He was
consistent, yeah.
always performing. He was the most consistent player. And now he seems like the one who's most consistently getting picked off,
Yeah.
actually, which is a little. I don't know if.
Lost his mojo.
I think a lot of it has to do with confidence. And
Yeah.
if you hit a bad streak and he feels like he's doing poorly, then maybe he gets into this idea of, you know, I'm not as good as I think I am. But with these kind of games, if he gets more confidence, I think he can get back in shape. And if Liquid get TC back in shape, I think then for me, they're absolutely the best team in this qualifier. If all their players are performing on the level that I know they can, he's kind of the one trailing right now.
Okay. Well, after that match, we can maybe take a look at our standings now to see where we stand, like as a whole. See some of the other results that have been going on. There's 4 streams going on here at BTS. We've got. Here's our standings. Fantastic. Hopefully accurate. I believe our producers.
Union lost to Shadows of the Past.
Union
Really?
lost
Wow.
to Shadows of the
Wow.
Union's not that good. They only got
Yeah.
one win because they EG forfeited, dude.
eHug forfeit.
They
yeah.
should be 2-2.
Yeah.
I feel.
Well, they actually they did one big, well, kind of big win. They beat CNB, which was one of the slightly tougher matchups. But I think Union and CNB both had good starts, but they haven't really versed the tough.
So tomorrow's their tough day. I guess.
Yes.
Liquid, NAR,
Yeah.
Sna,
Wow. Yeah.
Revenge.
Yeah.
That's pretty tough.
Okay. Okay. All right.
What about the bottom?
Yeah, wait,
what about the bottom
we get the bottom
five?
half of the bracket? All right, we're gonna wait for the bottom. We get the top half.
Okay.
We get to talk a bit, then we get the bottom half. Oh, okay.
All big plays.
Looks
There we
good.
go.
Pressure's on. Pressure's on. This is the hardest they have to
it.
work all day long. Producer's just slacking over in the corner.
You're saying that with your camera work. Seriously, you were looking at a reindeer for 30
Coddle, man.
seconds straight.
Hey, that was
That was
perfect.
awesome. I liked
tough
it.
work.
The reindeer was cool.
There
It
was
was
zero
worth looking
complaints
at.
other than Cinderin, so I don't know about the coddle.
You were like, look at Roche. I'm like, well, they're roaching. Everyone knows they're roaching. They're not contesting
We
Roche.
also knew Coddle had a reindeer already. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
but
nothing really new about
What's
it.
more aesthetically pleasing, looking at the Coddle or looking at Roshan
But
die?
it's a transparent reindeer.
How many times
that in
have
mind.
viewers seen Roshan die, and versus how many times have they seen a Coddle with Ags with a little reindeer cosmetic?
I agree. High five. Coddle Ags is
We're on
awesome.
Team Revenge, but we're not on the same team anymore, Sid. I'm sorry.
Lame.
Hey, I'm on Team Revenge.
What happened to Revenge NAR? We need results from Revenge versus NAR. That's
That's what we're trying to
Okay, so NER won that. So they're
That's-
3-0.
That's not surprising.
right?
yeah, it's not surprising.
Or is
but
that
I was
2-0?
disappointed.
Was that the second
NAR
or
is-
third?
They're undefeated.
Yeah.
the up-to-date.
They're 3-0. Okay. So
Wait, top 5's 3-1? Wow.
damn, they got stomped. Their first game, they got stomped by someone by CNB, wasn't it? Yeah,
Wow.
CNB stomped them in the first game.
Okay.
So who knows? This
I
is
feel like this.
Wait, can we get the bottom 5?
bottom five.
It's going to be really exciting, I think, to see who gets third and fourth from the group
Yes.
stage here. I
I-
feel like that's complete. Liquid and NA rejects the way they've been playing so far.
Clearly top two.
I would be very surprised if either of them doesn't
Yeah.
make it. I think Sna maybe has a chance at beating Nar, unless they played as well, and I forgot that. I would have
Yeah.
messed up completely. They didn't, right? Sna and Nar didn't play against each other.
I think-
Please.
Oh, Snar and Nar. I want to say yes.
Snarnar.
Yes, they have.
You're kidding me.
They have played. Nar beat Snar. That's Snar's one loss. Well, one of
they
their
have two losses.
They lost to Liquid
They lost
as
to
well as
Revenge.
Nar. So he's,
Wait.
oh,
No, it's not.
we're all over the
Yes,
place.
I watched them
50-50s
play.
today.
Oh, I was looking at the day two stream. Sorry, I was looking. I looked at it.
do this anymore.
Look, man, I got a schedule here. No one really knows.
Yeah, here we go. Right
Snar
here.
and Nar is day two. Don't worry.
Oh, I was right?
Yeah,
You're
right.
right. They haven't played.
Yeah.
Fuck you. You made me feel terrible.
You should feel terrible.
Wait, what's next on
the
this
one
stream,
time you're
guys?
right. We got a good match. Liquid
We
versus
have.
Liquid Nar,
This
right?
is pretty
Oh,
much
that's true.
to
Yeah,
decide
yeah,
first
yeah.
place.
This
in
is
theory.
the top game of today and maybe the entire play.
I think it's the entire one,
group
yeah,
stage.
for sure.
At the same time, like if these two teams don't drop another match besides this one, it doesn't matter who wins this because either way they'll be first, second. But it gives you some bragging rights. You go undefeated, it's pretty
Yeah,
big.
that's true.
Well, it's good insight to see how they play against each other as well.
Well, that's
Yeah,
where you maybe
that's the-
don't want to show your true strat.
That's
Strat.
true.
Save your real
That's true.
strat for the playoffs. But
Yeah, save the mid coddle.
And then you lose one more and you get down to third. And
Too
then-
late for the mid.
yeah, well, that's the thing. You could still lose to other teams. So I think both teams will be playing to win. But,
Yeah, I would agree. So,
it'll be a good match. I mean, this pretty much is the day that decides it for Liquid. Liquid have had to play. They've played Snar, they've played Revenge, they've played all the tough teams. All they've got left is North American Rejects, and tomorrow it
Walk
gets a whole
over
lot
day.
easier.
what's the least convincing win Liquid had today?
I didn't see too many other games.
They were convincing against Revenge. They were convincing
Versus
here
eHug.
against eHug. I think they've been convincing for every. What was their third match?
Okay.
They played one other match, which was also pretty convincing. So.
Right, so predictions for next game? What do you think?
Well, Liquid undefeated. I can't. If I say NR are
Well,
going to win,
Nar's also undefeated. That's not an argument.
No.
That's
I'm
not
saying
an argument.
I said Liquid are going to go undefeated throughout
me.
the entire qualifier.
Just hit me. Right, I get stroked.
Yeah,
I'll say Liquid.
Liquid?
Yesterday I would say NAR. Today I'll say Liquid.
Alright,
'cause
I'm gonna-
they look a lot different.
I'm calling a lot of things wrong today. I'm going to call Liquid. I'm going to be right on this one.
I'm gonna have to agree. I've been less impressed
Wow.
for everybody. Team Liquid's like.
Do we have
It's
odds?
only been one game I've seen, but that was.
Hey Brian, can
I
you
don't
look
know,
up odds
pretty
for us on Liquid NAR? I'm curious.
Of course, there is the Korok
The only
effect, so I don't know.
Is the Korok effect a good thing?
52.
52.
Liquid? That's
Oh, I'm
about
really surprised.
I think that's right. Liquid's playing really well today.
I think they're... I'm going to say...
That certain boot camp of theirs is paying off.
K-pop does says 50.
All right, so if you were to give a
That we're not
percentage for the win rate, what do you think? How big a chance for Liquid?
60,
60,
61. 61, 39. I feel like 60 is too low, but I was going to say 65, like 65 too big, so I was like in between.
61, okay?
I think
That's-
55-45.
55-45? Okay. I think that's under-ambitious. I actually think they have a bigger chance. I'm going to say 70-30, actually.
It is a BO1 though. That's the main thing. Like if this
Yeah.
was a BO3, why don't actually I don't know how BO3 would change it.
But
I feel like these two teams.
BO3
I just
I
hope
think-
no matter what, we get a close game. That's like
Yes.
because,
Yeah.
like you said, maybe the outcome of the game isn't that important, but I think it's really important for both teams to get a little bit into each other's heads. Like
Yep.
play some good Dota so you don't
Mind games is
come
how
off
you
as
win
weak.
Dota.
Yeah,
Period.
it's a really
Coddle
Yes.
Ags.
momentum and confidence are
A lot of old teammates
still
squaring
underrated.
off too.
Like,
Yeah.
people
That's
still
true.
don't put enough emphasis on what that means.
Wait, who's
really
so
getting on a good run?
Korok used to be on Liquid.
Yes.
Way 2 used to be on a team with Fog.
back in Dignitas. Yeah.
Yeah.
A bunch of old like these guys all know
Well,
each other.
Korok
really
didn't
well.
leave on good terms,
Snake
right?
Snaking used to be on
No, I don't think so.
Dignitas.
Yeah,
so
Snaking
either
used to be
way,
on Dignitas.
Team Liquid versus Sna or Sna or
You love
NAR.
snaking, right?
It's gonna be a
I
good
love
storyline. I
snaking.
think.
That's good. Okay.
This, I didn't know it was possible to love
It's
snaking.
amazing.
Everybody loves snaking. What are you talking about?
Okay, sorry.
Hashtag the king.
Dude, how even as like an American, people like so sad about what happened to Dignitas at
So,
TI3 because
and on the other stream, there was a Storm Spirit at the Shadows of the Past. Where
Yeah.
they won their game. He was Chicken MC, first of his name. He was Storm Spirit with Orchid and Dagon.
Dude, I remember we cast Chicken MC in the Full
I
Sail
know.
tournament.
Hashtag first of his name.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Nice,
Okay.
nice.
Probably also the owner of his name.
We
ever.
look, we casted Chicken MC before he was
Yes.
cool.
That's a way better hashtag than the king.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's also a better hashtag than NA.
Why is
TI4
everybody
NA.
obsessed with Chicken MC?
Because his names are funny and he does ridiculous stuff. He got a Dagon. An
Well, yeah,
Orchid.
the game we cast was good too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember what hero he was.
He's fun to watch.
Wasn't very
I
memorable.
have nothing
ranking, I
against
guess.
him.
Anyways,
Did you give a percentage for Liquid to win?
Oh yeah.
I agree with Merlini. 55-45 probably. I think it's gonna be not as far-fetched.
Sure you
as
don't
usual.
wanna-
Last time Nar won, man.
You could also go in between Merlin and Gauss and be like, I want to meet in the middle, so 58.5.
I think it's closer to 50-50
Oh,
than
wait,
you
it's
give.
just
to be
58.
honest.
last time Na won and they won
58.
2-0. That was in the
58.
summit, which is when Liquid got
Yeah,
knocked
they
out.
won
so-
easily, and they won in the group stage. So
Yeah.
it was actually a 3-0
Yeah,
over
3-0
three
total.
games.
It's,
But Liquid's different.
But everybody's still
it's the
picking
Liquid that showed up today
Right.
that we're
Yeah.
based on.
Well,
so.
we
They
haven't
have
seen
the
NAR
momentum.
though. NAR might have turned up their game. I haven't-
NAR, I think, from what the little I've we used to cast the one.
It was
game and
a
they
it was a
good.
10-minute
Yeah.
GG. I can't get
Okay.
anything from that.
Alright.
They scouted a level 1 Roshan with a
Yeah.
sniper and a Pugna and a Chen.
Yeah, it's
Well,
not
they had a sniper. So
Yes,
they're
they had a
good.
sniper.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Okay, well, that's our next game coming up, guys. We're gonna take a quick break, grab a drink, grab
When's
a
the game
snack.
start?
You guys at home can.
4:44. What time?
15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Okay.
So we'll be back in like 10 minutes or so.
For our premiere match.
Premier match. Well, also our final match, isn't it? Yeah, final match today. Wow, it's day one's already done. I was getting tired, but now I've got my second wing, and I was like, okay, let's go. 3-4 more games, but this is our last one. So, guys, you've been watching the TI4 American Qualifiers, brought to you by the NA Hub, presented by Monster. We're going to take a break. When we come back, it's going to be NAR versus Liquid.